excited to be back with you for our third week of Children's Bible Story Time. Today we have two awesome stories to read together. The first one is about Jesus' miracles, and it was a special request by two little girls who really wanted to hear about Lazarus and Jesus feeding a large crowd. We're also going to read a book from Jason's childhood called Handy Dandy Helpful How. And it's a book that he absolutely loved, and I'm excited to share it with you today. So let's get started with our first book. It's another book from the Little Bible Heroes storybook that we used back on our first week. And today we're going to be reading about Jesus' miracles. Now this book was written by Victoria Kovacs and illustrated by Mike Crome. And it's called Jesus' Miracles, and that's Jesus. What is a miracle? It is a supernatural act of God. Jesus' first miracle was changing water into wine at a wedding. So here's Jesus, and there's the water he turned into wine. Once, Jesus and his followers were in a boat during a terrible storm. Jesus commanded the wind and the waves to be still, and they obeyed him. So there they are in the boat, and Jesus has commanded the winds and the waves to be still. One day, some friends lowered a paralyzed man through the roof to bring him to Jesus. Jesus said, "Get up, pick up your mat, and go home." The man walked. So there's the man that was not able to walk, and Jesus healed him, and he's able to walk again. When Lazarus had been dead 4 days, Jesus came to his tomb. Jesus called, "Lazarus, come out." Lazarus walked out. He was alive. And there's Lazarus walking out. Jesus made 5 loaves and 2 fish into enough food to feed more than 5,000 hungry people. So there's Jesus, there's their fish and their loaves, ready to feed the crowd. Jesus helped people everywhere he went. He helped the lame to walk and the blind to see. There's Jesus. The Bible tells us about dozens of miracles Jesus performed to help people. Isn't he amazing? So there's Jesus, and there's the fish and the loaves. And that's the end of our story about Jesus and his miracles. Now the next book we're going to read is called Handy Dandy Helpful How, and it's all about being helpful. This book was written by Michael P. Waite and illustrated by Gary Truesdale. And here on the front, that's going to be Helpful How, and we're going to read all about him. Are you ready? There we were, in our backyard. My wife and I were working hard. We had a giant list of chores, to be exact, 9,004. Both our children, Sam and Sue, told us they had things to do, like sipping slushy lemonade on the hammock in the shade. So here are Mom and Dad working. And then look, here's Sam and Sue drinking their lemonade in the hammocks. As I wiped my sweaty brow and rested on my rusty plow, a funny fellow came my way. He crossed my lawn and said, "Good day." He pulled a wagon full of things, like tools and mops and paints and strings. That man had gadgets everywhere, inside his boots, up to his hair. So there's Dad, and here's the funny man with all the tools. He came right up and shook my hand. "Aha," he said, "you're just the man. I'm handy dandy, helpful Hal, the pooped out parent's perfect pal." Hal went up to Sam and Sue and whispered in their ears, "Yoo-hoo! Up and at 'em, sleepyheads. Mom and Pop are pooped," he said. "Time for you to lend a hand. Better help them while you can." So handy dandy helpful Hal is here, and he's woken up Sam and Sue. They were sleeping in the hammock. With all this lying round like slugs, I'm sure you'll both turn into glugs. I'm sure you've heard of glugs before. All they do is eat and snore. Giant things, all green and chubby. Say there, Sam, you're getting tubby. So this is a glug. And handy dandy helpful Hal says, if you don't get up and start helping, you're gonna be a glug. Next thing I knew, my feet were dragging off the back of Hal's big wagon, through the door with one quick pounce, and up the stairs without a bounce. So see, Dad's hanging off the back of the wagon, and they're going up the stairs. He rolled us into Sammy's room and handed Sam a purple broom. "Time to clean your room," he said. "Do you know how to make a bed? These are chores a kid can do. I've cleaned my room since I was 2. My wife and I were quite surprised. The kids cleaned up before our eyes. Look how messy their room was. But now here they are cleaning it all up." No sooner had they finished that than Hal called in the dog and cat. "I think these pets are yours," he said. "Every day they must be fed. A simple chore I think you'll find. Let's try it once, if you don't mind." Sam and Sue each filled a dish with puppy pork and frisky fish. They filled the other bowls with water. Could this be my son and daughter? So look, there's their dog and cat, and there Sam and Sue are fixing their food and water. "Good," said Hal, and off we went, like a hound dog on a scent. At the kitchen sink he stopped and said, "I'll need you, Mom and Pop. These kids can wash the pots and pans, but they have tiny little hands, and so it's best if everyone joins in to get the dishes done." Look at that pile of dirty dishes. Isn't that crazy? Before we knew what Hal was saying, soap was sudsing, water spraying. Soon we had those dishes clean, washed and dried, just like a dream. "While we're here," said helpful Hal, "shall we do more? I think we shall. Here we have the kitchen trash. You can dump it in a flash. Just put it in a plastic bag and out you go. Don't let it drag." So over here they've cleaned all those dirty dishes, and now they're going to take out the trash. "Very nicely done," said Hal. "I told you I'm a parent's pal. Now off we go out to the yard. I'll bet these kids can wash a car." "Here's a chore we all can do," said Hal, and then the water flew. "I've washed at least 1,000,000 cars. I've washed the cars of movie stars. And if perhaps you think I'm fibbing, here's my first place washer's ribbon." So he's pulling them all outside, and look at that dirty car. And Hal said, "I've even won a ribbon for washing cars." He's going to help him wash the car. Susie hosed while Sammy scrubbed. We soaped and washed and wiped and rubbed, and soon that car was shiny bright. "Good job," said Hal. "You've done all right. Now quickly, let's complete our chores. We'll pull some weeds since we're outdoors. Be sure you check with Mom or Pop so you don't yank a carrot top. So here they are cleaning that dirty car. Now look how shiny, they did such a good job. And now they're gonna pull some weeds out of the garden. Last of all, let's get the rake and pile these leaves for goodness sake. And when we've made a giant heap, it's lots of fun to take a leap. There, said Hal, I think we're done. Wasn't that a lot of fun? You were splendid, Sam and Sue. See the things that you can do? When you help your mom and dad, the chores don't really seem so bad. And everything gets done so soon that you'll still have the afternoon. So look, they've made a huge pile of leaves and they're all gonna jump in. Have you ever done that before? Why not travel to the ocean? Don't forget your suntan lotion. How about a camping trip? Go to the pool and take a dip. A game of tennis, maybe two. When did you last see the zoo? Thank you, helpful Hal, I said. You've taught our kids to make their beds. You've shown them how to feed the cat and how to wash the car, in fact. You showed them how to fold their clothes and on your helping goes. But now that we have done our chores, there's something else to do outdoors. Swimming, zoos, and mountain hikes aren't the sort of things we like. I hope that you won't think us rude, but we have quite another mood. There they are. What do you think they're gonna do now that they're done? Let's find out. And with those words, my wife and I took our children at our side and crawled up on the hammock swing to do our very favorite thing. And look where they are. They're all in the hammock and they're all gonna drink some lemonade. And the Bible verse that this story wants you to remember is from Colossians chapter 3, verse 23. Whatever you do, work at it with all your heart, as working for the Lord, not for men. And there's the Bible verse. And that's the end of our story about Handy Dandy Helpful Hal. Thank you so much for joining me again this week. I hope that you are enjoying these videos as much as I am. I am having so much fun getting to connect with you every week, and I can't wait until we all get to see each other again. Don't forget that if you have a favorite Bible story that you would love for me to read on our videos, ask your mom and dad if they would send it to me, and I'll do my best to get it, and we'll read it one day soon. But until next week, thank you so much for joining, and have a great week. Bye!